In this week's episode, it's his willingness to get his hands dirty that brings him recognition. But first, drugs in sport are meeting their match. Martin Dewee was merely trying to avoid his alcoholic father when he started boxing. There wasn't much joy at home, so Martin would spend hours at the gym trying to keep fit. The sport brought him recognition and opened many doors for him. Martin ended up becoming an international actor and model. Today, he's a top fitness coach whose mission is to get people to go the natural route instead of using steroids. This is Martin Dewee, a former national bodybuilding champion and actor. He's now a fitness coach who runs a campaign against steroids in sport.
If you haven't got time to go to the gym, you're making a lot of time for sickness and illness to creep in. The only time people start taking care of themselves is when they go to a doctor and they find out they have heart problems.
Martin became involved in sport back in Pietermaritzburg, where he was born. Every day he went out to box with his friends, trying to avoid his father, who was an abusive alcoholic.
Would have to sit in the room for hours upon hours and just sit in and say absolutely nothing, or he'd simply beat us up. Or if we had to make tea or coffee for him and it wasn't made right, he'd throw it at us. And I couldn't concentrate at school.
Martin stayed with his father and grandmother after his parents separated when he was a little boy. In later years, he relocated to Klipspruit West in Johannesburg to stay with his mother and concentrate on his sporting career.
And I met a gentleman by the name of Derek Watson, that's what they called him. Brilliant trainer from Eldorado Park. And he had this no-nonsense attitude, and he took me under his wing.
But being in the city of gold did not mean instant success for Martin. Day after day, he had to knock on different doors and focus on his goals.
Persistence, dedication, absolutely a dedicated person. If he says he's eating healthy, he eats healthy. He's dedicated to his diet, he's dedicated to his sport.
Only in 1985, shortly before he turned 21, did Martin finally receive his professional boxing license.
During this period, while I was preparing for my fight, I met a young lady from England that told me about this modeling agency that was looking for tall black guys that they could use in commercials. And I thought, wow, this could be for me.
A few years earlier, Martin had been struggling to put food on the table. Now his life was taking a promising direction. The combination of good looks, great physique, and talent became a big advantage for him. A young model in popular TV commercials, Martin was now becoming a familiar face in South Africa. At the same time, he also launched his international movie career. But in the late 80s, he had to leave the sport that opened doors for him. The company employing him for TV commercials did not want him to take part in any activity that may damage his face.
My trainer was furious. He was furious. It was an amazing opportunity at the time. I mean, all of a sudden I had all these agents getting all these movie roles for me, and I could choose what I wanted to do, and it was an amazing feeling.
Martin shot 11 movies in Europe and took part in various modeling competitions. During that time, he also started bodybuilding to help boost his acting career.
I didn't really want to enter competitions. I basically did it also because I looked good on screen. It made me look good on screen, you know, because I did lots of my roles on screen shirtless, and I mean, they wanted to see my abs, etc., etc. And it was an awesome feeling, you know.
But those around him convinced him to compete professionally. Slowly, his bodybuilding career gained momentum and he drifted away from making movies. But while bodybuilding, Martin made a shocking discovery.
The next show I did was against guys that were using steroids, and they were 10 times better and bigger than me. I went on stage with these guys and I didn't stand a chance. I didn't even get into the top 10. How come these guys look like us? And of course, every single person I spoke to back then, the steroid thing came in. You've got to use steroids.
When Martin did his own research about performance-enhancing drugs, he came across disturbing information.
You can develop tumors on the liver, and if those rupture, you can have internal bleeding and you can die. With regards to the needles, HIV, inflammation of the veins.
With this realization, Martin chose to rather go the natural route. In 1995, he entered the SA Natural Bodybuilding Championships.
As far as the natural bodybuilding competitions are concerned, they do full testing, polygraph, as in lie detector, and urine tests. And that was the year I won my first natural bodybuilding title.
Martin went on to win the title 4 times in a row. Finding success without using steroids gave him a reason to embark on a journey to promote healthy living. Today, Martin speaks to thousands of students around the country. He's a fitness coach and has released books and a DVD on how to naturally maintain a healthy lifestyle.
There's an alarming rate of steroid abuse that is happening in schools because schools, they don't test young athletes. A guy like Martin, educating parents, educating the athlete, going to schools, providing this information. He's always kept it clean. He works hard in the gym. That is the role model kids need to look up to.
A very important initiative indeed. Well done, Martin Dewee. As always, we appreciate your feedback. Against all odds at enca.com. You can also be in touch with us on Twitter and Facebook. Still to come, he wants to be remembered as a true agent of change.